This is the Sunday Business Page with John Delano.
Good morning. I'm John Delano. Welcome to another home edition of the Sunday Business Page. And our very special guest is Jim O'Brien, who without a doubt is the #1 sports writer in the city of Pittsburgh, in the whole Pittsburgh region. You are so prolific, Jim. It's unbelievable the number of books you've written. What, 30 books?
30 books in 40 years. I'm 78 now, and it seems like writing is easier than ever, which surprises me. My memory for things 50 and 60 years ago is unreal. My memory for what I had for breakfast is somewhat questionable.
Oh, you're like a lot of folks as they age, I will tell you. But there's no better sports writer than you when it comes to getting really some of the most interesting tidbits of information from our players in Pittsburgh over generations. And I know one of the books that I particularly enjoy is this one right here, which I think you wrote last year, a year ago.
Correct.
How do you get these guys to say things to you?
Well, for instance, in Franco and Rocky, the inspiration for that book was Franco and I went to Canada to do a banquet. And so I rode on a jet airplane, a private jet airplane from Pittsburgh to Calgary, sitting across from Franco as if it were a confession box for about a total of 10 hours each way. Now, no one, including Franco's wife, Dana, has ever talked to Franco for 20 hours in one weekend. So, and then with Rocky, I rode shotgun with Rocky when he was honored at the Pro Football Hall of Fame, representing the veterans. And so I sat next to him and was able to interview him all the way to Canton, Ohio, and all the way back. So I had 2 long sessions with those two. And believe me, the title is appropriate. They really are, like you, John, they're good guys. They work at it.
Well, thank you for saying that. I know both of them fairly well, and I couldn't agree with you more. Jim, let me ask you, is it difficult to work during a COVID environment, or does that really help you because you're kind of isolated?
Well, I have a very nice workspace. We moved 4 years ago out to Washington County. And John, I can see Ireland in the distance when I'm working, so that inspires me. But I really have a great workspace. Someone was visiting me the other day. They said it was like a sports museum. So it inspires me. And as I said, writing is easier for me. I've never had a hard time writing. I tell people writing a book is easy. Selling a book is a different challenge. I remember the great Pittsburgh home builder, Ed Ryan, a blustery Irishman. He said to me once that that writing a book is one thing. He says, but selling doesn't start until someone says no. Up until then, you're only an order taker, and anyone can take orders. So I work at it.
Well, let me ask you about your
people.
We only have about a minute left, Jim. So let me ask you about your latest book, Looking Up Once Again. This is a basketball book. And now I would admit I'm not a huge basketball fan, but there are lots of basketball folks out there. What's this book all about?
Well, this is about a lot of guys in the ABA and the NBA that I met when I journeyed across the country following pro basketball. And these are very intimate stories about them, many success stories, what they used to call Horatio Alger stories, rags to riches stories. And I think that they're very inspiring. It doesn't matter what sport they play or whether you're a fan. They're interesting people, and I think I've written interesting stories. And the best thing, John, is I have a good product. And when you have a good product, it's easier to sell.
We've got about 30 seconds. If somebody wants to get a hold of these books, maybe to give them as a holiday gift, how might they do that?
Well, they can stop me in the parking lot at Giant Eagle, and I usually have some in the trunk. But they can Google Pittsburgh sports author Jim O'Brien, and they will find my website. And if they still have a telephone book in hand, I'm the only Jim O'Brien in the Pittsburgh phone book, and I will answer the phone.
I was going to say spelled R-I-E-N.
Right, not like Wyatt Earp.
Well, Jim O'Brien, thank you, sir, very much for being with us today. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you, John. Always a pleasure.
And thank you for watching us on the Sunday Business Page. to all of our Jewish friends, have a happy Hanukkah. We look forward to seeing you next week.